Have you been ghosted? Do you keep getting ghosted? Do you not like them in the beginning? They chase you and then you fall and they seem to leave you. You're always in a hot and cold relationship or push and pull. Okay, this video is for you. You're going to want to stick around until the end. You have a pattern. If you've noticed it in all of your relationships, you're playing something out. We're going to talk about that shortly. But first, let me welcome you. Welcome to Patty's World. I'm Patty. We talk everything manifestation, mindset, and really shifting within so you can align with all the desires of your heart. That includes love, money, and the lifestyle of your dreams. I'm a transformational coach, and I help you identify and pinpoint what the blocks are that are keeping you stuck or on that hamster wheel. Okay, let's talk about the patterns in relationships. And this can be love, mostly love, but it can encompass work relationships, friendships, family relationships, any kind of relationship. And remember, relationships are all about people, how we deal with people, and what we believe and assume about ourselves in relation to other people, right? So, really, it's always a reflection of us. I want you to understand that. Specifically in love, especially if you're trying to manifest back in SP, but also look at your patterns in relationships, in work, in family. And I want you to think deeply as you answer these questions. Do you find yourself always being treated the same in love? Like, do you have a pattern? You're always being left or not chosen or ghosted, or you fall for them and then they leave you. It's push pull, hot and cold. Or do you find yourself over giving, over performing, almost hoop jumping to try to get someone's love and approval so they love you and they choose you? Or do you find yourself always being treated a certain way, like you keep getting breadcrumbs and scraps and you're settling for that? Do you find yourself always being betrayed, not trusting, not feeling secure? All of those beliefs and circumstances that are playing out in situations are mirroring you a self concept, a low self concept that you have of yourself. And they tend to reflect and mirror back to us, like I said, what we believe about ourselves, but in every area of our life. If it's happening in love, not always, it can happen in friendships, family, work, where, we're always second best, not chosen, we don't feel worthy, we always feel wrong, we don't feel like it's safe to be ourselves. People are always making us wrong, and we're the ones who just feel not good enough, not worthy, we carry shame, whatever it is. It ties into self concept. You have to understand that. When you start getting into this stuff, specifically law of assumption, and that's what transformed everything for me, that I understood that everybody and everything, specifically in relationships, they were reflecting what I was believing and thinking and assuming about myself. And then when I really sat down and sat with myself and got still, I really saw the pattern, not just in love, but in friendships, in every capacity, where I was overgiving and overperforming and wanting someone else outside of me, whether it was a relationship, a friendship, work, to tell me that I was okay. I was looking outside of myself to feel worthy, to feel valuable, to feel safe. I was waiting for someone outside of me to tell me I was okay. But when we do that, when we give our power away and we're looking for things in people and love relationships and friendships outside of us to tell us that we're okay, to validate us, to approve of us, then they also have the power to break us if they leave us, if they criticize us, if they tell us they're not okay. We essentially are outsourcing our worth and value. And here's the big shift. This is going to help you. Ready? When you understand that you are inherently worthy and valuable within yourself because you're connected to God source, that God within you. It exists within you by sheer purpose that you're here. You breathe, you exist, you have purpose. You're worthy because you're worthy. And you tap into your inner sense of worth and value. You will stop looking for it outside of yourself. And this is all self concept work. It ties into manifesting because we align and attract whatever we believe we're worthy of. So if we don't believe at some subconscious level that we're worthy of love, then we're going to settle for scraps and breadcrumbs. And you might not be consciously aware until you stop pointing the finger outwards, which most people do, who are still very much operating in the world of the five senses and blame everything and everyone outside of themselves that they keep treating me this way. But when you really sit down and see, oh, I have a pattern, I am the common denominator. And I have some limiting belief that I keep playing out in my life, some abandonment wound, some rejection wound that I keep playing out in my life over and over and over. And it usually stems from some programming from childhood, right? We come into this world when you are whole and complete. You're born whole and complete. But because of experiences and situations through family, parents, love, we start getting this programming where we believe and play out limiting beliefs that we're not worthy, not wanted, not chosen. And we just play it out over and over and over in our adult lives until we really stop and look at ourselves and begin reprogramming that. And I think law of assumption and self concept work is so critical. It has transformed my life, especially since I began teaching this stuff, because it forced me to dive deeper into really reprogramming this, releasing limiting beliefs, and understanding that you, my love, have the power to change who you are. You have the power to change your beliefs, your thoughts, what you're telling yourself, those internal conversations. So, first and foremost, if you're getting ghosted, I mean, you can understand at a high level where it comes from a mom, from a dad. And I sat down with a friend of mine recently who understands that it's from her mother, but then she kind of got stuck in that. I said, okay, you understand that, but it doesn't matter why. You know it's from your mom, but you keep playing it out over and over. Let's now shift into, okay, I'm releasing this. I'm letting go of this, some inner child healing, some inner child work. You can do meditation, self-hypnosis. I have a couple of programs that I'm going to be releasing on this specifically. So you're able to release, but there's stuff that you can find on YouTube, meditation, self hypnosis to help you release, and also techniques that you can use to start reprogramming your subconscious mind. And there's a myriad of them, from affirmations to scripting, mirror work, a lot of things that you can do to begin releasing your so to releasing this limiting beliefs, but also to replace those beliefs with new empowering ones, so you can start believing and operating from new powerful core beliefs. So you're not operating from, I'm not worthy, I'm not chosen, I'm not loved, and this always happens to me. And really, you're stuck in victim mindset, right? And this is everyday work. It's not a one and done. It's a lifestyle change. It's waking up in the morning and setting the intention that this is who I'm going to be, the confident, secure version of me. But that's all self concept work. Understanding that life and people are just reflecting who you believe you are. So ask yourself, who do I believe I am? How do people keep treating me? What limiting beliefs do I have about myself? What do I think? Why do I think I deserve this? And then you can flip those beliefs and start reprogramming those through affirmations, through subliminals, through scripting, through mirror work. And you do it over and over. And then you can also script and release and do meditations and self hypnosis to release those limiting beliefs, to cut cords, and to step and really operate 100% and anchor in that new version of you, the confident, secure version of you, and step into that identity, the person who knows their worth and value. So you're not looking for people, for love, for relationships outside of you to make you feel worthy and chosen. Because what I find with most people who are trying to get back in SP, and this goes for me too, is that when you're looking for anything outside of you, love, a relationship, friendships, to make you feel worthy and chosen, then you're externalizing and outsourcing your power and your worth. And you're always going to be in needy, chasing, lacking energy. And no one should have that power over you. You're pedestalizing people and relationships. That comes from within you. When you shift that and begin on working on that, on yourself from within, you're no longer looking outside of yourself. You're so secure in who you are that when things show up, you can absolutely release them. They don't shake you because you're so secure. And you can simply say, not in my reality. I don't accept this. I'm no longer this version of me. And you just take yourself back to the place, to the version of you who knows who they are, who loves themselves, who respects themselves, who is confident, who is secure, who doesn't accept less than. And your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions, like when someone shows up and they ghosted you and they disappear, someone who has a high level of self-worth, who has a high self-concept, and a person tries to come back, you wouldn't settle for that. You would release them, remove them, because I love myself and I value myself. And I always ask myself this anytime I'm going through something: How would the highest version of me respond to this? How would the confident, secure version of Patty, who loves herself and respects herself and chooses herself, how would she handle this? How would she behave? Would she give her energy and her time to this? Would she accept this kind of behavior, or would she release someone in love and light, wish them well, and move on with their life? Because when we start elevating our self concept, people will either show up differently or they will disappear from our lives. And that's okay, because you have to understand that it was old versions of you that aligned with people, places, and things, and they were showing up in a certain way. So they will either show up differently or they will disappear from your life. And that's okay, because better people, or people who treat you better, will show up, more elevated circumstances. That's all part of self concept work. So the big thing is self concept. Get clear on your limiting beliefs. What are you believing? What limiting beliefs are you replaying over and over in your life? Then I would flip them and begin affirming and scripting and mirror working and doing subliminals to reprogram these new beliefs in your mind until they imprint. So you operate from these core beliefs. And then the third big component of this is to align your actions with this new version of you, that elevated self concept. Who would you be if you were the highest, most elevated, most ideal version of you? Who would you be? How would you treat yourself? What would you accept in love and friendships and work? What wouldn't you accept? What kind of boundaries would you set with people? And how would you treat yourself? How would you talk about yourself? What kind of things would you do? Well, you would value yourself, you would take care of yourself, you would make yourself a priority. You would put your safety, security, happiness, joy first. And when you make yourself a priority, you treat yourself accordingly. You treat yourself like someone who loves themselves, and you're not outsourcing your worth and value or self love to people and things and situations outside of you. That all is internal work. That all comes from within you. And then the fourth part of this, which is a huge component and it all ties into this, is the inner child healing. As you're going through this process, and this happened in my journey, it doesn't necessarily have to happen to you, but it did with me. Old memories or things I hadn't dealt with start coming up. So simply, I did inner child healing, releasing, forgiving, cutting cords with moms, dads, friendships, old versions of you. And you keep stepping and persisting into the highest version of you. You persist in the new identity. You persist in the new version of you. You persist in this new elevated identity, that this is who you are. And you keep releasing those limiting beliefs, those old versions of you, and you just persist. And it is an ongoing process until one day you're like, oh my God, I don't even recognize the person who settled for that. You look back on yourself and you're like, oh my God, that's no longer me. That is no longer me. And you celebrate who you are because you have come so far. And I promise you, when you do this work continuously, day in, day out, it transforms everything in your life, and you will align with better love relationships. The ghosting will disappear from your life because you're no longer the version of you who aligns with that, who accepts that, who still is operating from that limiting belief. Friendships are better. People treat you better. That is the irony, the paradox of this, is that when you stop looking outside of you for people to love you and choose you and make you feel better, and you go within and you give it to yourself first, you naturally magnetize people, love, friendships, amazing situations and circumstances into your life. That is a paradox, because you're no longer coming from a place of wanting and taking and needing. You're not in chasing energy. You're in magnetic energy. You become a super attractor, and you naturally attract and align with people in your lives. That's the paradox. That is the irony of all of this work and law of assumption. You change yourself from within, and it involves all this inner child healing, self hypnosis, self concept work, techniques to reprogram your subconscious mind, but also aligning your actions, aligned action and inspired action. You can't just sit at home and eat bonbons. There's inspired and aligned action. But how do you know you're acting from a place of alignment, that from a place of inspiration, from being connected to source? Because it feels good, because you have peace about it. You feel those gentle nudges. Your intuitive power absolutely grows and magnifies. And it's like things start showing up in your life like magic. Things are aligning and you just flow through life. And I have not recently, but we're always in process and we're always adopting new beliefs and concepts about ourselves. But this is a new one for me, that everything's always working out in my favor. And no matter what shows up, this is going to benefit me. Everything comes full circle to benefit me. It always works in my favor, always. So no matter what shows up, the meaning I attach is, oh, this is going to work out in my favor. And I wonder how things are going to align to work out in my favor, because life is always supporting me. Life loves me. God, source, the universe loves me. I love me. And everything's always working out in my favor. So I hope this helps. Always go within. Remember, you're the operant power. You're the source. You're the creator. Start with you, and your outside world, the mirror, will reflect it. Okay. Thank you for joining me on this video. I have a masterclass coming up this Thursday, June 20th. If you can't attend live, it starts at 11:30. You will get the recorded version. It'll be powerful. I'm going to walk you through the 4 pillars that helped me to become truly magnetic and aligned with everything. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a powerful creator. And I learned slowly at first, and there was a lot of things that I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing, and I'm going to talk about all that. But after this class, it will absolutely shift you to become a powerful creator, truly magnetic, so you align with everything you want. I want to empower you so that you're able to shift yourself to the version of you that gets everything they want. The information is in my Stan store. It's gently priced at $34. You don't want to miss this opportunity, because after that, I will post it on my store and the price is going to go up. So this Thursday, June 20th, and make sure you don't miss it. You will get the recorded version if you can't attend live. Okay, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for joining me.